Today, I'm at Holley High Voltage at Sonoma Raceway, and I'm doing something that, honestly, I never thought I'd do. I'm drifting the only professional electric drift car to ever have competed. I have no idea what to expect. I've never driven a Tesla or a Lucid or a Rivian or anything, right? So this has a Tesla powertrain. It's got one motor in the back. Is it gonna blow the tires off? Is it gonna be controllable? Well, let's just go find out. Ron, you campaigned this in 2020 in FD. What spawned this idea?
All right, so we had heard word of a company called EV West, right, at the time. And we're like, oh, they built a electric BMW. And we're like, oh, that's kind of cool, right? Obviously, with the electric craze currently, at the time in those very beginning, we're like, anybody make a pro FD electric car? We're like,
so that's maybe the most impressive thing, right? That you guys didn't actually have an electric car background. And the beautiful part is that you figured it out just like you would a new motor package. Like whether you went from V8 to JZ, or if you were developing a new motor for a new manufacturer.
Guy behind the pulling motor, so we were talking and we're like, let's build an electric drift car. And he had the means to do it and the resources through Turkey Industries, right? Lo and behold, we said, yeah, let's build it. How much do you think it's gonna cost? Did the numbers, goes, yeah, let's build it.
So when I first jumped in, I thought it would just blow the tires off right away. But the way that you guys have worked the throttle response, it feels like a turbo car. Like
that's all AEM.
You know, and
that's all AEM.
You can back it off, and then you can regain grip, and then kick back into it, and it's incredible. Yeah. So how did you get here, right? Right. So like, you can kind of explain that story to me.
Yeah, well, I actually come from a long background in EFI tuning. A little bit over 10 years, involved in some FD cars. I tuned probably a third of the car in the field back in the day.
Nice.
So a lot of EFI stuff, and then I joined AEM about 3 years ago, and then a year into it, they were like, "Hey, we're doing EV stuff." He's like, "Oh, this is a DC to DC converter." I'm like, "What the hell's a DC to DC converter? Why are we converting DC to DC?" He's like, "Oh, it takes your 400 volt power out of your main battery, pumps it into your 12 volt battery because you still have your computer, your dash, your headlights." It's been a lot of learning. I had a ton of background in wiring, custom wiring, stuff like that. And then Joe Napoleon brought this car to us to do some development on it. And they were like, "Oh, it's going to Holley HV, and we're going to throw our VCU in it." So I'm like, all right, a month to wire this all up, right? Design everything, plan everything.
Everything about this car has been thought out, and it's kind of one of those things that, hey, with the attention to detail that smaller competitive teams have in racing, when you bring that to the EV world, the same result happens. So if you notice, there's an Enyo sticker on the car. And why would there be an Enyo sticker on an electric car? Well, Eneos is leading the charge in creating EV specific fluids so that people can get the most performance out of their electric cars. It's like a silent disco. So to have that amount of excitement out of that level of silence was totally unexpected. The car is extremely well balanced, right? The guys at Turnkey did a phenomenal job building this. The throttle input that AEM provided was unbelievable. So AEM now, what they do is they make turnkey, funny enough, there's a pun there, wiring harnesses for Tesla motors in swap chassis. And what the guys over at AEM did was they modulated the throttle input so that it feels more natural. And honestly, it feels like a turbo car. It's really weird. Like up until about 60% throttle, it's totally modulated. And then if you punch it, they actually put a rate map into it. So if I punch it, it'll blow the tires off. But if I just modulate it, I can regain grip and I can drive it really like I do a regular car. And it was amazing, right? It's a different experience for sure. So a huge thank you to Holley High Voltage, AEM, Turnkey, and Eneos. Without events like this that highlight electric cars and motorsports, the future would not be as exciting.
Three, two, one.
Yeah, it's incredible. So we're 40 miles an hour at this point, and I've never had a car where you can hear the rocks hitting the wheel wells. It's incredible because it's just a different experience. There's other things to concentrate on.